questions we wrestle with as Christians about who God is, how do we live out our faith, what is the Bible, what is the truth of the Bible, what are we supposed to believe, how are we supposed to live. There are really big, deep questions that we ask each other, that we ask God, that we wrestle with ourselves. And that's why the Cultivate podcast exists, to help us go deeper in our understanding of who God is, His Word, and the way that He's called us to live. Hey everyone, welcome to the Cultivate podcast with Grove Church. I'm Charlie Loften, I'm the lead pastor there, and we are here with...
I like DJ Bagel.
DJ Bagel?
Uh-huh.
I was gonna move away from pointing out the fact that you're wearing headphones.
I think you need to get headphones. You're actually going to have to flag me if I'm talking not loud because I can just hear myself crystal clear. But I, on top of my harmonica learning and piano learning, I have strongly considered a mixing board.
Really?
That'd be so fun.
Okay.
We had a basketball tournament recently, and one of our band guys brought out his DJ booth.
Yeah, he does that professionally.
I know, and I don't want to be that, but just imagine.
You're gonna do it.
No, but just imagine like in an afternoon, I'm like, I need to pick me up.
And so you know, all saying,
yeah, it seems fun.
what would be your go-to genre of music?
Probably 90s jazz rap. Like where they had
jazz rap.
Where they had like samples that they would be pulling. That was before like copywriting came in.
Okay.
And so it was easy to pull any samples from anything, even like Walk This Way with Run DMC or whatever.
Well, they did sing that with Aerosmith.
Right. But that was like the start of like, okay, maybe we could make money off of people sampling our music and stuff.
And this is, I mean, I've said this before. And we could do our own podcast on this, I guess. But like, to me, it is probably top 3 most historically important
1 million
pop
percent.
songs
1 million
in the last 100 years or whatever.
Yes.
I mean, probably got to throw a Beatles song in there, maybe an Elvis song in there,
yeah, but
maybe. But as far as like, just like the amount of impact that particular song had, from rapping with, having hooks and
they were at the height. They were huge. Aerosmith.
No,
not yet.
They had
that bring them.
They had started to fade.
Oh, really?
They had been really big.
Okay, they're on their way out.
They brought them back.
Yeah, so I'd definitely go for that. Like when Queen Latifah was still rapping, that little era. There's a bunch of like Detroit and New York movements happening. Now
they made a TV show with Queen Latifah where she's an action star.
Sorry, what? What show?
I'm just saying.
What show?
It was a show back in the 80s or 90s called The Equalizer, and then they made movies about it with Denzel Washington, and then they remade it as a TV show with Queen Latifah as. Okay. I mean, to me. That surpasses, like, I remember the first time I went to see a Bob Odenkirk action movie. I'm like, Better Call Saul, but he's actually really good. I've maybe Queen Latifah as action star TV
could be a big thing. I wish he would go back into the rap career. Like that was when Tribe was all a big indie Tribe. I just really loved that era, so I would mix in all of those, any of the jazz samples.
Well, we just have to make this happen now.
Done. Okay. Can you fund me getting my soundboard?
And I want you playing the harmonica while you're doing it.
I'll get one of those like necklace things that hooks it.
Matthew chapter 5, starting with verse 13. We are now back in the Sermon on the Mount to kind of put us where we are contextually. Okay. This is very early. He's just done the Beatitudes. So he's talking to he's talking to the masses, talking to a relatively poor group of people. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are those who hunger for righteousness. Blessed are merciful. Blessed are the pure. Blessed are peacemakers. Blessed are those who are persecuted. So he's starting by turning everything around, right? Blessed. If you said, who do you know that's really blessed?
And he just flips the script.
Who would you most people would think
like the comfortable
people who have a lot of a lot of something where
financially comfortable.
They got a lot of money, they've got a lot of power. It's like, oh no, they're not the ones that are blessed. The ones that are blessed are the ones who've got a great family. Even still, that's having something, right? It's I know that I'm blessed by again, the blessings that I have. I have been given things, and he's saying
it's actually a characteristic.
Being blessed is actually shown by adversity, lower status, not having, being persecuted, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And so then he's saying all of this to them, and then he ends with, rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you.
What have they known about the prophets?
Yeah.
Okay.
These people would, I mean, they would have at a very minimum been culturally Jewish. And I don't know that at that point there were very many people who weren't also at least somewhat religiously Jewish.
Okay.
So they would have had a decent amount of familiarity with this. Verse 13, you are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven.
It's not the ending I was expecting. All the other ones we've read have like, do this or don't do this and you won't have life. I know that was a couple episodes ago, but a lot of them have like, you better hear this.
Right.
You better not miss what I just said.
Well, I mean, we're kind of doing this in chunks, right? And we've kind of got, here's the Beatitudes, and then he says this, and from here he's, going to and he's going to start talking about their relationship with the law and the prophets, and then he's going to go in there to the thing that we've been talking about, like it's not just murder, it's hate, it's not just adultery, it's lust. And so the Sermon on the Mount is not what we would call just one cohesive kind of thread that when it's all connected, it makes sense. It really is more than anything. It's kind of broken down into these sections that they have some relation to each other, but not.
Reminds me of Proverbs.
Yeah. It's almost like long, like
just short nuggets.
Yeah. But more, instead of just one verse, 1 to 2 verses, 4 to 8 verses of just kind of like here's an important thing, which is again why a lot of people think that this is really kind of a
piecemealed.
Yeah, he's kind of pulling together. When Jesus talked, these are the things that he said.
What'd you call it last time? A stump speech?
Stump speech.
Okay, yeah. I like that.
And so, probably there were times when he would go into one of those more than the other. But when Jesus spoke, this is what he talked about. And then one of them, again, he is talking to a crowd of people and says to him and describes to them as salt of the earth.
City on a hill, or a house on a hill.
The light of the world, right?
A lamp that's not hidden.
Yeah. And so what is he talking about here?
I mean, it seems like being a representation to the world around them.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was sitting here thinking about this in this reread. If you were to describe somebody now, I mean, he's a salt of the earth kind of guy.
He's a really good time. I feel like he's a really interesting guy.
Yeah, I feel like it's like an easy hang versus a tough hang. I think it's also has very blue collar implications, down to earth.
Yeah,
he's just a guy. He's just a bro. Somebody you can actually talk to, relate to. Salt, just a guy. He's not smart. He's not rich. He's not good looking. He's just a good old
boy.
Just a good old boy. Is that the understanding you get just in the brief verses here?
No.
Okay, what is...
Well, mainly just in the fact that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. I guess mainly the glorify your Father in heaven, that it's talking about something that would make God proud or reflect him accurately.
Yeah, so what would salt have been used for?
The flavor?
Flavor. It was also used as a preservative, but pre-refrigeration.
Really?
So your uncooked meat could last longer salted.
Okay.
You couldn't put it in the fridge. Even with salt on it, you couldn't, can't live in you put it in the freezer and forget about it for months. Not that long, but you didn't have to cook it and eat it all at once. So salt was both a preservative and
gives it a spice.
Yeah, some flavor, right? And so he says, so you are the salt of the earth. And
so you're preserving something and you're animating it.
You are giving life. You're giving life to it, whether it be spice or preserving it. You are giving it. You're giving life to the earth. And if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again?
Yeah, that's kind of confusing. Yeah, give it more salt.
Do what?
Is it like give it more salt?
Well, I mean, once salt stops being salt, I mean, then it's just something I guess, it says it's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. I mean, I guess from our perspective, man, I guess you can melt ice with it.
That's okay. Yeah.
I mean, like you can put it down on the ground to makes it easier to kind of walk, but it's not really doing what salt was meant to do anymore, which is, I mean, I think in that moment it's kind of like, yeah, I'm like salt. I'm like salt.
So he's saying like, don't let the salt run out.
Yeah,
because you can't renew it. Do what
salt is supposed to do. Because if you stop being salt, then you just become. I mean, it's not like you're completely useless, but you're not doing what you were most meant to do.
Now he says you are the salt of the earth, so he's like thinking anyone who hears this and all the stuff up above, if you do these things, you are the salt of the earth.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get our all the way through the metaphor.
Okay.
So now we go to the second one. You are the light of the world. So what does light do?
Gives you good sight.
I can make so where I can see.
Guides.
Is a guide.
Helps reveal or it helps uncover things when you can't see.
I think if you think about the opposite, think about darkness. I mean, there's hope. There's again, there's life there. It allows me to function. It allows me to really experience the room that I'm in. Like I can enjoy what I'm doing. I can see what I'm doing.
Definitely in that culture,
I'm not bumping up against things.
Well, life probably wouldn't happen unless there was light at that time.
Right.
The town probably really did shut down.
Yeah.
When there was no light on.
Yeah, and so in the same way, like you don't want to stop being salt, and you're light. You don't put light under a bowl,
right?
You don't hide lights. Well, I've got this light, but I don't want it to get out there, so I'm going to cover it up so it just doesn't do what light is supposed to do. No, you put it high up and you put it out in the middle where everybody can see it.
Benefit.
And if you put it on a city that's got all these buildings in it and you've got candles and things going in all of them, like I wonder where that city is. No,
you can see it.
There it is.
I always think that when I drive into Fayetteville over the hill, you can see like the illuminating light at night.
And this comes back to, which got another good kids song.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Right? I mean, that's
we need to do more kids performances at our church.
Okay. You know what Natalie would say if you said that to her?
You can do it.
Go right ahead, Abigail. Congratulations. You are not doing, if you're not doing the live stream anymore, you're looking for something to do. Come teach our kids songs. In the same way, let your light shine before others that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven.
I need you to break down that one a little bit more.
What?
Like it seems funny that it would be to show off your good deeds.
Well, okay. So the idea is whoever he's talking to, whether he's talking about who they currently are, where he's manifesting something in them, he's kind of assuming the person who's hearing this is going to live it out, right? I don't think he's sitting there talking to somebody who happens to be sitting there hearing it and is skeptical. Hey, if you happen to be within sound of my voice right now, you are the light of the world. I think he's speaking about people who are there, but are really going to embrace his idea of kingdom living. And so you're bringing life to the earth. You're bringing flavor. You're preserving it. You're bringing light to dark places, which is a metaphor for hope and vision and all these sorts of things. And you don't hide that. You don't hide real light, and you shouldn't hide who God has made you. In fact, you should live your life in such a way where people see who you are. Okay, which is going to seem contradictory at sorts to some things that Jesus is going to say a little bit later. You know, when you give, don't be all clanky, clank, 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 clank. And when you fast, don't make yourself look right.
That's like exactly what I was thinking about.
You know, so he said, don't even let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, which is just a crazy little metaphor.
So is this,
but what does he say? He doesn't say, let your light shine before people in such a way, well, they will see how impressive you are.
So am I putting like current cultural context to see their good deeds?
To see your good deeds so that what?
Glorify your Father in heaven.
So there you can hide your light. You can shine it in such a way where people will be impressed with you, or you can shine it in such a way where people will be impressed with God.
Okay.
So I think there are two different ways to shine. You can shine bright in a way that draws attention to you, or you can shine in a way that draws attention to God.
Okay.
And so I think the question is not necessarily how do you make sense? How do you square that circle or whatever? It's like, I think the deeper question is, how do you shine light in a way that makes people want to glorify God? How do you shine light in a way that points people to God?
Are you asking me?
I think that's the question. And so I might as well ask you. You're the only one here.
Me? Who said that?
Soup doesn't talk.
Call back to something.
Call back to something that you didn't get to hear.
I mean, I guess it would be like unexplained kindness. Like whenever I'm thinking about the stuff that you were saying he listed earlier, all of that would be like someone who's, let's see, meek or shows mercy or peacemaker. Those are kind of you'd be not expecting to receive goodness from those kinds of things.
Right.
And so maybe that would be like, this kind of characters stand out and feels different.
Something about your character is different. You know, there's a difference between standing on top of a building and throwing money out there to crowds of people and quietly paying for someone's meal. I mean, there's just a way that's just kind of like, here's an act of kindness that I'm doing it publicly because I'm doing it to you, but I'm doing it in a way that does not draw attention to me.
But it probably always reflects those. And are those the Beatitudes?
Yeah, right before the Beatitudes, right? And so if I do something really kind for you, but I also do it in a way where it doesn't seem like I'm doing it for the attention or the glory, that is going to be different.
Yeah.
There's people who are unkind, and then there's people who put on kind
so that people can see how generous and philanthropic they are.
And then there's this. And I think he's describing something very different. And it seems like you either aren't nice or you're attention seeking. He's saying, no, I mean, you don't want to withhold what it is that God has given you. You want to shine with it, but you want to do it in a very particular sort of way. And so I think is like, let your light shine in such a way where people will see,
Mm-hmm.
and then they will glorify God. And I think that all of that phrase describes the method by which you let your light shine.
Okay. So is he giving them a charge to like make sure this keeps happening so the saltiness doesn't run out?
Right.
Okay.
I think the idea is if you stop being salty, then you become useless. And so the metaphor is a little, it's like, I mean, you can't, salt doesn't stay salty by your use of it.
Mm-hmm.
You eventually you just consume the thing that you've salted.
Right.
And so
right.
it's not the world's most perfect metaphor.
But he's saying keep the saltiness active. Don't let it run out.
He is. So the metaphor would be like, if you keep being salty,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be able to keep being salt.
Okay.
Which, again, the metaphor is not perfect.
Sure.
Jesus is perfect, but this metaphor is not perfect. But it makes good sense. Yeah. And same way with light. It's just like, let your light be light.
Mm-hmm.
Light under a bucket doesn't make any sense.
So it seems like in a lot of the parables, it's been a concept or something that's kind of like flipping it.
Mm-hmm.
Would have a lot of people at this time, like they wouldn't have approached generosity and for like those reasons. Like were the Beatitudes opposite from how obviously the Beatitudes were of like who is blessed, but is he kind of flipping on its head what it looks like to make him known or spread the light?
I don't think that the people that he's talking to would have ever thought of themselves in that kind of term.
Okay.
But I don't think that's changed much. I mean, you can be an arrogant American, and I can get up and preach this sermon, which I have many times, and say, man, God has called you to be the light of the world, to bring hope and life to people.
You say that almost every sermon.
And people are kind of like,
me?
You must be talking about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Only stage people with high levels of talent.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be talking about me, regular person.
Mm-hmm.
Most people think, again, you say, you're the light of the world, and you look behind you.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the thing that turns it up, is like, it's not the special people. It's not the educated people. It's not the smart people. It's not the talented. It's not the rich. It's you. Mm-hmm. You are the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth. And we will know this more by your character than your importance.
Well, it also seems to kind of shift that, like, someone in the audience hearing you preach and say those words, they're thinking, well, like, oh no, saltiness is just the guy who speaks on stage. But he's kind of calling out not mundane and that they're not important, but pretty mundane things that actually he's describing. This is actually what brings saltiness to all of these things, is being merciful, is being compassionate, is being the hands and feet of, like, you don't have to be the guy up on stage. Which is where you can get where the etymology, history of the word, that's what entomology, history of bugs. I did that in college, so
etymology,
that confused me.
the history of word usage.
Okay.
So salt of the earth, meaning just a regular guy. Mm-hmm. Jesus is talking
about the regular guy.
About regular people.
Yeah.
But being a regular person does not make you salt of the earth. He's telling regular people that you have the ability to be salt of the earth. Mm-hmm. You can be, again, you can lose your saltiness. You can be a salt of the earth guy and not be, quote, the salt of the earth. Mm-hmm. But he is talking to people that we would now call salt of the earth and telling them you can be what brings life to the world. Mm-hmm. I think the new usage of the phrase salt of the earth emphasizes the ordinariness of it as opposed to the power that salt and light has
on the world.
So it would have been, he can't be talking about me. Where, salt of the earth is you're a good normal guy, but what he's saying here is you ordinary people are in fact what brings life to the world. If you will, bookended by the parable we looked at 2 weeks ago, if you will hear all of this, listen and obey, then you're going to have something that the world desperately needs. And if you will take this thing that God has given you and this life that you now have, and you will put it out there, then people are going to look at that and be like, wait a second. God is real and good.
Yeah. Which this may be zooming out the parable way too far, but it kind of feels like from every parable we've looked at thus far, the Pharisees were not super concerned with outsiders, or like any, like they're just kind of like doing their religious practice. And if you're an outsider, like you're not even clean enough to be around. But this feels very like, go out and be like, spread this, let people see it.
Yeah, there was an evangelistic component, what we would call an evangelistic component to Pharisees.
There was?
Yeah. I mean, he talks about it. It's like, hey, you'll work really hard to get a convert. But at the same time, they did have a really low view of low people.
Yeah.
And so if you were low, then you weren't worth it. There were people worthy of their message, but there was a significant amount of unworthy. And so I think Jesus is definitely flipping that to
where he's like, just give it to everyone.
People who are mostly considered to be the unworthiest ones are in fact the most worthy. The person that is first will be last. The person that's last will be first. It's not the people who are well that need a doctor. It's the people who are sick that don't need a doctor.
It kind of feels just like the cool thing about light is you can't really contain it.
Right.
And so like
you can, but it would be stupid.
Yes.
No one does that.
There's no boundary to who could see these good deeds. And whereas like it feels like the Pharisees would be like, you may be cut off and not even have access to hear these things. But this is like, well, the light's on, someone's going to see it. Where it just feels like more open access to like, no, everybody needs to experience this. Everyone needs to be able to see, like the light should be dispersed to everyone who can just come across it.
Right.
More open-ended and come all.
That's good. Yeah. And so I think there's something powerful. He's talking to us. He's talking. This is not an inspirational thing to give to the government, to the wealthy, to people who are on stage doing things. It is, as the more common that you are, the more that this reflects of you, and it is true. And there really is. I mean, there's an implied if to this. If you are someone who follows my teaching, that's the implied if. But other than that, there is no, hey, Abigail, if you work really hard and you do this and you do this and you do this, you can become the light of the world. If you are someone who is a follower of my teaching, you are that present tense, the light of the world. And your choices are not whether or not you are or are not light. It is whether you are light under a bucket or on a table.
Open. Yeah. Well, and also I feel like it's different in that you're not salt based on vocation. You're salt based on a posture that comes with being aligned with Jesus' teaching.
Yeah. And again, it is not something that you aspire to. It is just a question of your relative effectiveness at this moment. Are you going to choose to be effective light and effective salt, or are you going to be hidden light and, well, I mean, you're still salt. I mean, you can make the muddy road easier to walk on for the horses.
Did they use horses then, or was it mainly
back
donkeys?
To horses. Yeah, I guess it would have been donkeys.
Donkey.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just felt right to say horses.
Sure. Let's see how many episodes we can tie horses back into.
Don't say that. Now that's going to... Now, anyways.
Challenge accepted.
All right. Well, thank you for this. And again, this is a really important, if you've heard me preach at all, it's kind of like Abigail said, this is really important to me. Just this idea that you who are listening to this, who are striving to be someone who is a follower of Jesus, this is a present reality for you. You have a light to give to the world that needs to shine. And I hope that you will come to genuinely believe that, and you will live your life in such a way where people who are living in darkness, who need a little bit of flavor and preserving, can experience the love of God through you. It's very powerful parable here. And so glad you got to join with us.
Sorry, it's still relevant. I think is the interesting part, that like they for sure needed salt and light, but it's still just as strong of a call today of what's needed to bring into the darkness.
And all the wealth and the power and affluence has not changed it.
Right.
It is the life and light and salt has not come through prosperity. We are infinitely more prosperous than they were, and just as desperate for salt and light. So thanks Bagel. I'm sorry, MC
DJ Bagel.
Thank you guys for joining us. Encourage you to join us back. We'll continue with our parables and over the next several weeks, and we would love to connect with you any way that we can, on a Sunday or online. Find us at thegrovechurch.org about our Sunday services, both streaming and in person. There's a form you can fill out where we can get to know you. If you have any questions, any ways that we can help you can let us know. We'd love for you to fill that out. And again, thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to the Cultivate podcast. Our hope is that you are taking steps to go deeper in your faith, that you are asking big questions and you're looking for answers. We hope that we can be a resource for you through our podcast and any other way that we can help you. You can find all our episodes anywhere that you can find podcasts, including YouTube. And again, thank you so much for joining us.